You've been taught to get your prospects to say yes in sales, right? Multiple yeses will lead to a big yes, right? Actually, that's all wrong. Constantly trying to get your prospects to agree with you is likely hurting you more than you realize. It triggers sales resistance, and buyers have caught on to this tactic. The real secret to creating freedom in your sales conversations for you and your prospects is actually about being comfortable and being confident hearing the word no. I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader. I remember early in my sales career being taught that if people say yes once, they're more likely to say yes again later. And while there is some truth to that, and there's a time and place for that in our sales conversations, that's not what's going to make your prospect buy at the end of the day. Let me give you an example of how yes can actually be detrimental. So years ago, I was invited over to a friend's house for dinner. Turns out the dinner was just a sales presentation, and the entire presentation, it was for kitchen cookware, and the entire conversation, the sales rep constantly was trying to get us to agree with him. Isn't it important to you that you have healthy food? Isn't it important to you how the food tastes? Would you rather have food that tastes good or food that tastes bad? Like all these things that were designed to get me to say yes. And as he got me to say yes over and over and over again, I just felt like I was being backed into a corner. I knew what was coming. It was like, okay, you're going to say yes 10 times, and then I'm going to offer you to buy, and then you're going to want to say yes, right? And the whole time I just wanted to scream no. But I was saying yes because I would have looked like an idiot to say no to anything he said to me. Look, people are smart, and salespeople have been doing that now for decades. You might have been taught to ask yes or yes questions, or to ask questions that would make your prospect feel dumb to say no to. Or maybe you've been told, don't offer yes or no as an answer because they might choose no. In my opinion, that's just a fear-based mindset when it comes to selling. Yes can be very dangerous before trust is established. It shows you only care about being right, and prospects will often agree with you simply to avoid conflict, not because they necessarily agree. So it makes people feel cornered, and it makes them feel like they're losing control. And when people feel that way, they shut down, or worse, they continue to give you a fake yes just to get out of the conversation. And maybe you've had that happen where you're prospecting and someone says yes to an appointment and then they ghost you and had no intention to meet with you in the first place. They said yes because they felt trapped and cornered, and yes got them out of the conversation. And sometimes that's all yes is doing in your sales presentations. So this is where the concept of no being freedom comes in and really is a game changer. For you, the salesperson, no is freedom for a couple reasons. One, because it frees you from the limiting beliefs about sales and from old school pressure tactics. And if you're comfortable hearing no, you'll be comfortable in sales conversations. I want to repeat that again. If you're comfortable hearing no, you're going to be comfortable in your sales conversations. You no longer have to carry around the weight of making someone say yes. So think about it. How much mental energy you spend trying to avoid a no? When you remove that fear of the prospect saying no to you, like you're free to connect and you're free to have an authentic conversation with one another. But no is freedom isn't just for you. It's also for your prospect. When you allow someone to tell you no, you empower them so they feel like they are actually making a decision and not being forced into an answer. It immediately removes the pressure. It shifts control into their hands, and it makes you different from every other salesperson that's pressuring them to say yes, yes, and yes over and over and over again. So when a prospect feels like they can truly say no, they can truly disagree with you, like that's where an actual conversation begins. It can help move people from being defensive to actually being open. They subconsciously know that you respect their ability to make decisions. And so this philosophy is woven directly into my sales inception framework. Let's look at a couple of the key steps. So the first step is the kick. Some would refer to this as how you present the frame or structure the conversation. And so it's really about giving the client a sense of control and freedom, waking them up. And part of how we do that is by allowing them to opt out of the conversation at any point. So one of my favorite ways to do this is, hey, you wouldn't move forward with something that doesn't make sense, would you? Right? They're always going to say, well, no, I wouldn't move forward with something like that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I wouldn't either. You're essentially inviting a no to ensure that if they continue, it's because one, they genuinely want to. And then this helps put your prospect at ease because they know you're okay with hearing a no if it doesn't make sense. You start establishing yourself right out of the gate as someone different when it comes to the sales process. And so when you get to the end of your sales presentation, the invitation, often referred to as the close, it's not about trapping them. Actually about empowering the customer to make a decision and being prepared to gracefully step back if your solution isn't the right fit. I'm not even going to make an invitation though if I haven't helped them see the problem with where they are at and the path they're currently headed on. So closing isn't about having a good one-liner at the end of your pitch or presentation. You close them actually in the middle of your sales process when you show them that you understand them better than anyone else does. And when you help them realize they can't get the results they want by staying where they're currently at. So the quality of your questions, those will build trust faster than yes or yes closes or saying, wouldn't you agree? Like over and over and over again, right? So by allowing no's early and often, you can make it easier for a prospect to actually say yes and go through discovery. It's easier to say yes when I feel like I can say no and actually not piss off the salesman by saying no. I actually prefer yes or no questions as opposed to a yes or yes question so that I can have the client draw a line in the sand and fight for themselves or not. For example, I might ask, hey, are you okay with things staying the same? If someone says yes to that, they're okay with where they're currently at, why would I even invite them to work with me? Unless I dig into that and understand why, maybe challenge some of their beliefs, right? And maybe challenge the way they view things or thinking about things or see what context they have around that. Another question I might ask, or is, hey, is increasing revenue the number one priority for you right now? If they say yes, I know they're very driven to grow. If they tell me no and they feel like they can say no, probably not going to present to them unless I get curious and see if my solution, especially if it's around growth, can really help them or not. And if they don't care about it, I'm going to just disqualify them gracefully, leave them with some recommendations and end the conversation. There's no point in inviting them or closing them if they aren't even a good fit. If you're watching this video and you want to learn more about Sales Inception, join the Everyday Leader community in the show notes below. From there, you can start learning the Sales Inception framework. That course is designed to be personalized to your business or your industry, or you can schedule a Selling with Confidence breakthrough session with me through the community below. Like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Remember, selling is life and selling is freedom. It's about empowering others, not overpowering them. When you give someone the freedom to say no, you actually give them the freedom to truly choose yes, and that's where sales happen. Until the next video, embrace the no, build that trust, and keep leading authentically. We'll see you next time.